When humans are born, they are offered a choice, either to be good or to be evil. And in all these cases, the scales move to my observations, and finally, when the humans sink below the soil, I can judge them. But you are not like the others. You are neither consumed by cruelty nor illuminated by compassion. You were numb, a soul so hollow in its indifference that I was unsure whether it existed at all. You lived without ambition, without love or hatred. It is rare to encounter such a soul, and yet here you are, dead. But as I cast upon you my judgment for your place in heaven or hell for the first time in a millennia, I am unsure, and so I summoned you in a sort of middle ground, sort of as a test. You cannot avoid it. You will be challenged, and only in the crucible of struggle will the scales move. There is no escape. There is only the choices you must make. Welcome to Nebula.
Where am I? How did I get here? I don't remember anything. This looks like some kind of alien planet. But how did I end up here? Wait a second. This is... I guess I'm trapped here, and I have to survive. But I can't shake off the feeling that I'm not alone. Here I was. I didn't know what to expect, and immediately I saw a weird creature. Maybe it could give me food or some resources to survive. I had to find out, so I approached it. The creature resembled a slime, but it looked really different. I wasn't sure if it would attack me, so I let it approach me. Oh my gosh. Jeez. It was draining a lot of my health already, so I had to kill it quickly. I picked up its remnant, and seeing that it duplicated, I had to leave now. I already lost 4 hearts, and I couldn't afford to lose anymore. There were dangers lurking around everywhere, and everything was weird. Where there was supposed to be dirt, instead there was endstone. What the hell is this? It was really inefficient to mine like this, so I really needed a pickaxe and some other tools. Luckily, this world did have wood, so I could finally craft some things. So this is wood. Should be able to make some tools from this. Even though I made tools, I still didn't feel safe. My hunger bar was going down, and I was still missing 4 hearts. I was under a time limit here. If my hunger bar dropped to 0, nothing could save me. So I kept on exploring, and I saw what looked like a glowing jellyfish under the water. What is that? Maybe it could give me some food, but I really had to be careful. So from a distance, I killed it. But again, nothing. I was getting seriously desperate, because if I couldn't find a food source, there was no way I'd survive. And what's worse is I discovered a new threat. Oh no. That's right. There were Endermen everywhere. But I guess I'd be safe as long as I stayed near the water. The issue was, I had to keep going. There was no food here. At this rate, I could starve. I need to keep exploring. Finally, I discovered a different biome. So I ran over there, trying to look for any food I could eat. Maybe an alien plant here could give me food to eat. Finally! Just one plant I could eat. No way. Oh my god, finally. Finally, I was so happy. This meant I could survive. But then, what's happening? Why can't I move? What the hell? I was locked in place, and my vision turned blurry. I felt myself grow weaker by the second, but I had to keep moving. Maybe cutting down all these plants triggered it somehow. No, maybe I was just imagining things, right? I had to calm down. All I could do was keep investigating this world. Maybe eventually I could come to a conclusion. At least there were no hostile creatures here. So I decided to settle down and build my house. I gathered a different wood and then got to building. I even created a farm so that I could have a consistent food source. After I finished my house, I decided to keep exploring the biome. That's when I spotted a little creature. What is that creature? It was weird. It flew as if it were leading me somewhere. So I ran and I ran after it until I finally reached the edge again and it was gone. Why did it bring me here? As I stared down into the void, I couldn't help but feel like something was there. I just didn't know what. And more importantly, there were other islands to explore in this world. Maybe one of them had a portal out of here. I had to get to the other islands. I had to build bridges, so I went back to gather even more resources to prepare. But that's when I saw the creature again. I should have known. I should have known better than to kill it, but it was too late. Oh my god. What is this? For some reason, it was even worse this time. What the hell is this again? Why does it keep doing this? It was a mixture of immense fear, of anxiety. I couldn't help it. But I hate feeling so powerless. I don't know what was causing this, but I knew I had to escape from here. I wasn't gonna let this thing take its toll on me. So I had to find a way out. I didn't care what it took. So I bridged my way to a different island, not knowing what to expect. But in that moment, I had nothing left to lose. So I strayed further and further out, and I never felt so angry. But then, I saw something amazing. What is that thing? It feels like it's calling to me. I don't know why, but I feel like I have to climb it. It looked so magical. It exuded a sort of celestial power. I needed to climb to the top. I needed to get there. So I dug, and I dug for hundreds of blocks just to reach the top. I felt like there was hope. There would be something magical there. Something that could get me out of here. But as I looked around, there was nothing. I was just alone here. I was alone here. I was really alone. Being toyed with by some kind of celestial force that I couldn't see, that could paralyze me. Well, I won't play by your rules. No, I'm going to find you, and I'll pay you your suffering 10 times over. I knew something was after me, and everything else became trivial. And my number one priority was getting good armor and a sword, which meant I had to go mining. I don't care. I'm not dealing with this anymore. I knew that those crystals actually dropped crystal shards, so I mined them. They seemed valuable. Okay, I'm just gonna mine as many of these as I can and then just go home. I made my way home through the biomes peacefully, but then suddenly it seemed I triggered one of the Endermen. I didn't know how it happened, but it was chasing me, so I jumped into the water and just had to kill it. I wasn't even looking at them. I don't know why. I was being toyed with like some kind of test subject. It seemed like whatever creature was watching just wanted to make my life hard, but I couldn't let it get to me. They really wouldn't stop coming, but I got tons of ender pearls as a result. And then I could finally go home and prepare. I gathered tons of materials. Now I just had to use them, but I quickly realized I only got the plating for the armor. That meant I could only apply it on top of existing armor, which meant I had to find other dungeons to loot. So I stocked up on whatever I needed and then set out. I was exploring for ages, but then I finally saw an island with an end city. I had to climb my way up. I didn't know what dangers would await me. Already, I noticed something strange about this island. The plants were releasing smoke. Some of them damaged me or blinded me when I walked in them. I had to move fast. I needed to loot the end cities so I could create my gear and get revenge. This could be difficult. I had no armor at all, so I just had to get to the loot as fast as possible without dying. This building had nothing. I was just wasting my time here, and the shulkers were seriously getting worse and worse, so I left to a different building to loot. I was really struggling to survive. But again, when I reached the top, there was nothing. These were the highest towers. Usually there would be chests here. I didn't understand it at all. I checked every single tower, all the way to the top, and there was nothing. There was no loot. I didn't know what to do at this stage. I guess I just had to accept it and leave. You know what? To whatever cosmic god there is, well played. Wasting my time, making me suffer, but I'm not afraid. You'll have to do much better than that to get to me. If anything, it just fueled me more and more. If there was nothing here, then I'd simply look for the next. I saw another island. I didn't know what to expect, but I had to bridge to it again. I was annoyed, of course. All of that hard work, nearly dying multiple times, and I got nothing for it. But I couldn't let that stop me. I had to keep going, so I immediately got to bridging to the next island. This biome was so empty. There was no life on it at all. It was kind of creepy. The land looked like it had been struck by some kind of bomb. Then I noticed vibrant colors clashing against its hues of black and white, and it turned out to be a cave with the most beautiful gemstones. Maybe it would be valuable. I mined them, and then I went on my way to continue. This pocket of crystals, it was not what I was expecting from a land like this, but for some reason it gave me hope. And when I bridged to the next island, I felt braver than before. But I would soon realize that bravery was misplaced. just hit me. I turned around to look, but there was nothing there. And yeah, the fear overwhelmed me again, and I could barely move. I heard whispers then, and when I looked up, I saw 3 shadowy figures walk towards me. They came closer and closer. I wanted to run. I wanted to attack them, but I literally couldn't. A force was stopping me, and I just had to sit with that fear, that immense, crippling fear. I didn't know what to do. I just tried to get away. That's when I saw a patch of different land. I had to escape from this grip. I had to escape from the entity. I needed to calm myself. That's how I could move again. Even with those things still chasing me, I had to calm down. I don't even know where I was anymore. I just ran and I ran. I was going out so far, and with those entities, I wasn't sure I could turn back. Maybe I should just never settle down, never have a home here. I just wanted revenge. I just wanted to leave. I had one objective: to get armor and a powerful weapon. I wanted to upgrade them so that I could finally face whatever entity was torturing me. I crossed many biomes, traveling far and wide. I needed to find another end city that I could loot. If I could just get my hands on armor or something, I won't be so scared anymore. And maybe that thing could stop controlling me so much. But as I kept going, I finally found an end city. I stared up at its structure. I didn't trust it at all. There was also an end ship, collapsed and broken on the ground. I had to get to it. I had to check it first. Hopefully it would be different from all the other structures. I finally reached the ship. This time there had to be loot. Please, there had to be. I saw a chest, and when I opened it, it finally had some loot. It had armor. When I opened the next chest, I found something called a crystallite elytra. It looked extremely powerful. I couldn't believe it. Why did the entity grant me this? Why now? It was suspicious, really suspicious. But I just went ahead, finished looting, and left. I really couldn't believe it. Like this, I could actually fight. First, I wanted to go upgrade all of my armor, which meant I would have to go back. But this time I wasn't afraid anymore. This time I could actually progress. Here I was again. I wasn't that scared though. For some reason there were no shadowy figures. It was just Enderman. Maybe I'd gotten over my fears and they disappeared forever. That's what I thought anyway, but I was wrong. I was nearly home, just one island away. And as I broke some blocks to bridge, I saw them again. I backed away, and it was too late. I stood there, but I had to fight them. Even if I couldn't move, if I didn't, I would die. The paralysis grew stronger. They kept on hitting me, and I kept on seeing the corners of the void grow closer and closer. No, I couldn't die like this. I didn't want to fall into the void. I had to kill them. So I didn't overcome my fear. Yes, I'm still afraid. The void was so close. My fear would have killed me. No, they would have killed me. Is this how I'm gonna live from now? What the hell does it want from me? I needed to stay cool. I needed to go home. I just had to make it home. I had to accept it. Accept that I'd always be afraid. That it would always have control over me. I just couldn't let it stop me. I needed to stop worrying about these things. I needed to be focused. I had finally managed to combine all of the ingots and materials. Now, all I needed was to locate an exit from this world, though I had a feeling whatever thing was watching me would try to stop me. But I didn't care. I wasn't coming back to this home, or this place, so I took everything I could and then I left. Surely there was a way out. There always was an exit between the end, nether, and overworld. I was crossing thousands and thousands of blocks, but still I couldn't find anything. That was until I reached my final island. It had a strange, big structure. There were strange engravings of symbols upon the rock, and it was covered with moss. I broke the moss away, revealing what it was. It looked like a dilapidated circle, and in the middle of it was a book that confirmed my suspicion. There had to be other sentient life forms. Could this have been written by the entity? And if it was, could it be a trap? I don't know, but I had to take the risk. I had to keep moving forward. The earth runs hollow, watchers all around, fragments of giants upon their crowns. Alone they fracture, weak and slight. Together they form a single light. What on earth is this telling me? The words were vague and confusing, but when I looked up, I could see this had to be some kind of portal, right? The book might be some kind of riddle to help me fix up the portal. Hollow in the middle, so like a circle. Okay, but it seems I have to finish this. There are scattered pieces everywhere. I suppose I could pick them up? I gathered all of the pieces that I could. Then I began building, making them symmetrical on either side. I suppose I just had to match the design of the lower part. Finally, it was a perfect circle, but it still wasn't perfectly hollow, so I destroyed everything inside of it. Step 1 is complete. Now I just had to solve the rest of it. The heart runs hollow, watchers all around, fragments of giants upon their crowns. Could the watchers be the pillars? They also had strange rune patterns on them, upon their crowns. Probably meant I had to put something on them. Something that fractures, like glass or crystals. I could certainly try. I had my Aurora crystal shards. They were smaller pieces from giant formations. And sure enough, it was the missing puzzle piece. The final line of the book said, "Alone they fracture, weak and slight, but together they form a single light." I was nervous. I knew I had to put all the crystal shards in their rightful places, but I had no idea what would await me. And as I stared down at the last pillar, I knew I just had to get out of here. So I put it down. It really worked. It really activated a portal. Could I really make it out of here alive? Could I really just get back to living? I had no idea what stood on the other side. I had no idea that it was going to be the worst challenge of my life.
So, mortal, it appears you've made it this far. I'm surprised, really.
Who the hell are you? Where are you speaking from?
That's not important right now.
Why won't you face me? For all of the hell you put me through, I'm going to kill you.
Oh, you mortals. You're always so ungrateful. Don't worry, you'll get to kill something. You see that jellyfish? If you manage to kill it, I'll let you go.
It's you who I want to kill.
Is that so? Perhaps I could ease some of your rage by explaining some things. Don't you have questions about who you are and why you were put in that world?
Fine, go ahead.
You see, I am the judge of all life forms that watches over you mortals. The way you act, the way you live, and you're a peculiar case because you lived in a very boring way. No rage, yet no happiness in your heart at all.
What do you mean by that? I lived my life fine.
No, you took no risks. You had no sense of urgency in your life. You're a very numb, boring creature. You just did exactly what was expected of you every single day.
You must be wrong.
That's why I put you through all this. I wanted to see if you could finally live. Pick a side. So what will you be? Strong or weak?
I don't understand any of this. I just want to leave.
Then you must prove yourself to be worthy. Kill the jellyfish, and you'll be set free. Or wait 5 minutes, do nothing, and I'll take you back to the other world. Just know that if you choose to kill it, there will be no turning back.
All of this was so overwhelming. There really was an entity testing me, testing my strength. And all I had to do was kill this jellyfish to be set free? I had to brace myself. I had no idea what to expect. I approached the jellyfish, but when I hit it,
It appears you've chosen. Don't worry. You'll be invulnerable as long as your armor stays on.
What are you talking about? Am I supposed to fight that?
Yes, just a little hint. It'll be invulnerable most of the time, just like you.
What? How the hell am I supposed to kill it then?
Be patient and be quick. Good luck, mortal.
What the hell did I just get thrown into? There was a massive celestial creature dashing towards me. I was horrified. How was I supposed to win against this? It kept on teleporting and unleashing explosions. I struggled to dodge them, and I was not confident at all. Okay, I just needed to memorize its attack patterns, its habits, and be patient. I couldn't believe how fast it was. It was near impossible to dodge anything. But sure enough, I was still invulnerable. Its attacks didn't do much to me. The entity said this would be the case as long as my armor wouldn't break. So I really had to kill this thing quickly. Alright, so it seemed to pause in order to charge up its power again every couple of seconds. This gave me an opening to attack it, but it didn't last very long. I just had to be fast. As long as my armor stayed on, I was good. I could do this. I was getting into a sort of flow state, into a rhythm, and I could dodge its attacks. Everything was looking great, like I could really win. And finally, I killed it. I had done it. I defeated this thing. Now, would I be let out? Why was it charging up again? There was no way. No way. It had resurrected itself. What the hell? And I couldn't even attack it. How is this possible? How is it still up? Was this some kind of cruel joke? What's the purpose of all of this? No, I'd be fine. I just had to kill it again. I didn't know how many more rounds there would be, but I had to try. Then my helmet broke, my armor's durability. It was all gonna be over. No, I needed to dodge. Why? Why were there 4 of them? My boots broke too. It was only a matter of time. There was no way. Was I put here just to die? My armor broke. Now I was vulnerable to its attacks, but I had to keep going. I had to keep fighting. There were just too many this time. I was going to die. I was really going to die. After all of this, I didn't want to die.
Fine. I'll give you a chance.
What the hell? I just got full netherite. But how? Did that being take pity on me? Either way, this still wouldn't be easy. I had to avoid everything near perfectly. The danger wasn't in the explosions themselves, it was in the frequency of them. As time went on, it was only getting stronger and harder to kill, but I had to. It had to be possible. I didn't know how many rounds there would be, but I had to keep trying. But by now, I had learned its attack patterns. It could either dash or throw explosions, and it was invulnerable in this state. It didn't seem impossible. I could really do this, even though it was getting more difficult, and it teleported more quickly. But that's when I was really starting to notice that it was duplicating itself into more and more. As time went on, I was tanking an insane amount of explosions, and I couldn't outrun them. They would just teleport in front of me if I tried. This was horrible. If they just kept increasing in quantity, there was no way I could beat them. I would certainly die as soon as I ran out of resources. I had to kill it quickly. But even when I tried to hit it, it teleported away so quickly. I couldn't believe it. It was even getting faster. What the hell do I do? If I can't hit it, if I can't avoid it, I just had to try. I had to be faster. I had to react faster. It unleashed a new type of attack now. It was combo, and I could not dodge it, no matter how hard I tried. No, I don't want to be afraid anymore. Even if I am fighting against a cosmic entity, I couldn't let this thing win. Not when the price was my freedom.
You know, this test wasn't really about strength. It was about your character. I wanted to test whether you were good or evil, so I could evaluate your place in the afterlife. But to do that, I had to break you out of your shell. Yet, instead of having a clear answer, I watched you evolve. You pushed yourself even when you were afraid, and you had such a powerful determination. So, even though you weren't always a saint, I've decided on giving you another chance at life. You have full power over your decisions, so don't waste your life, mortal. Choose to be good.